Hey YouTube! On to the roadstar. It's awful good. I've not even literally just put down the Blazer there, which I just rated as 9 out of 10, as in as good as a guitar can be, pretty much. That's a BL450. This is an RG. Slightly disappointed it was an RG because the other one I've got, the one that you can't see, my three roadsters, not including the bass. That's an RG as well. So roadstar. It went roadstair for a couple of years, Blazer for a couple of years, and then roadstar with an A too. So up until up until including 1985, the roadstar were RS something. So I think you can actually get an RS 140, which is from 1985, but this is an RG. You know an Ibanez RG looks like. 1987 was when the Steve Vai Gem came out, and the RG550, which was like a sort of copy of a less expensive version of the Gem, but ultimately just stole all the best ideas from it and looked the same. And then obviously if you buy an RG now, it looks like the RG550 or the Gem. Obviously you get different layouts, different colours, but there's a pointy Strat type thing. This is the first Rode RG guitar. This isn't an RS, this is an RG because it's even got a sticker on the back of the headstock. RG140. This is also available as an RG120, I think, which is exactly the same guitar but just with a humbucker, an RG130, I think, which is exactly the same guitar but with 3 single coils. This is an HSS. Kind of the same thing. They did the same thing with this as they did with the Steve Vai. I was just saying there, Steve Vai designed a guitar and Ibanez produced a guitar, a couple of £1,000, and then they produced one that was the same shape as it, kind of borrowed all the ideas. This would be the Alan Holdsworth one, the AH10, I think it's called, which basically looks exactly the same. I think it's only got one pickup in it though. It's just got the single humbucker. It's got the... it's so difficult to remember the hard... One of the good things about Ibanez, if you look up their website, it's got catalogues in it. 1986 PDF. And it's got catalogues kind of running nearly every year from the 60s till now, so you can look up on the actual Ibanez website proper scans and stuff. It's great. It's a power rocker bridge. I knew it was something like that. Yeah, so there's a 108. There's a 108 which has got a single pickup. There's a 120 which is 2 humbuckers. The 108's got single humbucker. 110, sorry, it's not 108, it's a BK I'm reading there. So a 110 is this but with just a single humbucker. A 120 is this with 2 humbuckers. A 135 is this but with 3 single coils. There's this one which is a 140 which is HSS, and then there's an RG200 which is the same as this HSS but doesn't have a trem on it. It's a solid block. Yes, and it also says something about having a V-shaped neck. So I don't want any more. I've got... my bases are entirely covered with roadsters and stuff, but maybe the RG200 just because of that V-neck I'm quite interested in. Yeah. So one of the cheaper ones, but there's an Alan Holdsworth one which is basically this guitar apart from... this bridge is made out of aircraft grade aluminium, so it's obviously very expensive. It's the same bridge though, and it's got a slightly thinner string spacing and a slightly thinner string spacing here. This is a Super 70 pickups, and this is 2 Super 7s. That's got Super 6s in it. This is the Super 70, that's the one that Van Halen used. I think he put another magnet in the back, but it's like a Ibanez Super 70. Kind of bought the pickup, got the guitar free. This bridge is a super system. It's one of the best non-locking tremolos I've ever come across. See, it's got this metal bit here. This is like a metal block stuck on that the trem sits under. I don't know if you can really see that, but it seems to return to pitch really well. It's really good. Got the smooth tune 2 tuners. This one's got a rosewood fingerboard. I think actually the year before it's available with a maple fingerboard, the RS140, but I'm not 100% sure. This one's got a bit of a dent there, which is the only thing I would really change about it. It's right at the back. It's there, and it's a bad dent. Apart from that, it's pretty good. It's very light, very small, very sleek. It's, as in Alan Holdsworth but it's like he's a mad jazz dude that I don't even know call it jazz. It's like you listen to him play the guitar and it's like, it's not just jazz though, because it's actually tuneful. I was talking to my pal about this the other night. I don't get it, I don't understand it, but I can hear it and I can appreciate it and enjoy it. Unlike, what was the other thing we're talking about? Weather Report, where it's just a turgid mess that I can't stand. I'm sure it's very difficult to play and you must be a really good player to be able to play it, but why would you want to listen back to it? You know, maybe there's an achievement in it. I likened it to running a marathon. It's like, yeah, I'm sure running a marathon, after it you go, yeah, I ran a marathon. Did you enjoy doing it? No, there's not any joy to be had from running a marathon. Yeah, so enough talking rubbish about this one. Well, obviously not enough talking rubbish. So single coil on the neck. I'd actually say these are lower output than the Super 6s, more stratty sounding. There's some 4. Middle position. Never use that. This also has a push pot, which I've replaced in this one so that you can actually see whether it's down or up. So when it's up, it's in single coil. When it's down, it's a humbucker. We probably actually lower that a wee bit more. So that's it in single coil just now. So position 4. Then bridge single coil. And then humbucker. I suppose you've got position 2, which is the humbucker and the single. That's a different sound. There was a thought of me going to make this 5-way switch do the automatic coil splitting. So in position 5 it's a humbucker, and in position 4 it splits this to a single coil. But I like the single coil on its own option too much to get rid of it. Just it's there. My main gripe about this one, which is the same as the 530 there, is these the original push pots, which are actually sitting there, which kind of look the same. The difference being when you push them in and let go, they bounce back to exactly the same position. So it's not obvious by looking at it whether it's on or off, which I find it's a really silly thing to complain about, but it does really annoy you. Whereas this one, I can see that it's in humbucker mode, or I can see it sticking up, so I see it's a single coil. I know when I'm on the neck pickup, soloing like a lunatic, and I want to go to the bridge pickup, I go, oh, you know, coming up, oh, next bar I'll be going on to the other pickup, oh, hold on, it's up, I can push it down so I know it's a humbucker for the solo, that kind of thing. I suppose it's the same thing as Steve Howe from Yes hates Telecasters, because why would you possibly have a guitar that didn't have numbers on the knobs? That's his main gripe, which I understand. I don't really tend to look at them. But I can see, you know, if you're sitting there, you know that ideally when you're playing, you know, for example, rhythm, you want to be on the bridge pickup, or you want to be on the neck pickup with the volume at 8, so that when you go into the solo, you can flip onto the other pickup and it's at 10 for a bit of a boost sort of thing. And I can sort of see the point in that. But I don't tend to do that much. Not as good a guitarist as Steve Howe though. So this one we've got a painted headstock. It does still have a bullet truss rod, sort of, as it doesn't stick right out, but you can totally see it, which is another great thing. It's like being able to see that, rather than having the bit you stick the Allen key in away in here in a hole that's full of fluff. It sticks out. So it's like but it's not quite as ugly. I don't know that I think it's particularly ugly. It is ugly in my area PE. It sticks out about that much. It looks like, what's that big metal thing on the top? Yeah, so this is when they started putting the ultimate expression of craftsmanship on the headstock. I forgot to mention that the Blazer says custom made on the headstock. Custom made. They're all custom made though, but it's still custom made. But this is the ultimate expression of craftsmanship, and it's actually a sort of goldy font that's written on. I think this only came in a couple of colours. Like, in fact, I had the thing up there. I think it comes in black, white, and red. But so this is the cheapest of the Ibanez range at the time. Well, I suppose technically the one with one pickup's probably cheaper. It's the same guitar, but it was one pickup. And it really doesn't show. It's okay. It's not available in lots of different colours, but things like the painted headstock makes it a little bit nicer. It's just, there's no binding. It's just but it's really contour. It's a really thin, light, and Alan Holdsworth stolen idea. Basswood body. Apparently that was what Alan Holdsworth spec'd, was basswood, even though no one had ever. Why? Nobody uses that. As well. And then when Steve Vai was specking out his one, he'd drawn all the things, not that. What kind of wood do you want it made of? He was like, oh, what did Alan Holdsworth use? Basswood for mine then. Good enough for Holdsworth, good enough for Vai. The main problem with basswood is it's not a particularly interesting. In fact, I've got one here. It's not a particularly fantastic grain. This is basswood as well. That's what basswood looks like. It's like, it doesn't really lend itself well to like a nice sunburst or something, because it's not really very interesting looking, but it's totally solid, stable, and see the fact it doesn't have grain and stuff in it. It makes it dead consistent. So it's maybe the best type of wood to make a guitar from. Tone wood. It's the best kind of wood, but because it doesn't look particularly good, plus it doesn't have a great name. Basswood's like that. Sounds a bit cheap. Yes, so I've already played a bit in this, but I'll do a wee shot with a rat pedal like I did with the last one. So as I said, this is a three thing video, which I might actually put out in the Christmas week or something. But really nice. It does do the trick, the flutter thing when you hit it. That brrr. You do it a wee bit. Goes much lower than the Strat one does on the Blazer. It goes so low that the string's no longer. And it returns up the way it goes. Up three frets, 1.5 tones. Not quite. I'll maybe adjust that so it goes up exactly 3. Again, this is one of those guitars that when you play it, you just go after. Just now, I'm just thinking, a really good guitar. And then the Super 70 pickup. This one might actually, it wasn't, I paid a stupid amount of money for, it's really difficult to point at something behind you. I paid a really stupid amount of money for this. This, I didn't think of it, I paid basically I think half what the going rate is for them. But you can pick these up for not very much money. This particular model, if you're looking at a Strat or a Super Strat, I suppose you could argue it's got a humbucker in it. They're like 250 quid or something. There's one on eBay just now, and it's like, it's as good a guitar as you can get, and it's like, it's not even, I don't, you're even at the classic vibe level yet with Squires for that sort of money. and you're getting a guitar that is Japanese and just unbelievable. There is a slight word of warning. In 1987 they moved to Korea, and I don't know what they're like. Looks the same, but it's got the modern headstock. When I say modern, I mean it's that shape. This guitar isn't modern, but you know, it's the what you now get as an Ibanez headstock shape. I think it came first on the Destroyer, actually. That's actually before this, but then that's what the modern RG headstocks are like. No, I've got a gig this. If you look at the Kraken House gig I did a couple of months ago, and actually the went into the recording studio, was this guitar I took, and the sound guy who was Wet's producer. So just thought, was up here, is that an original Roadstar? Like, up here, yes it is. He's like, nice. So I was using I used bridge pickup for one of the songs, and then the other one I went for the position 4. I do love this trem. Might be one of my favourite trems ever. I would definitely be considering guitars with this trem on it, because you don't have the faffing about with Allen keys with a lock and nut and the fine tuners. You can just tune it normally, and it seems to hold. I think it's got a Graphtec nut actually, but it holds pretty damn well. And I don't think it's that hard to get bits for it. Like if you see one of the saddles, although they are slightly fancy looking, I think if you could, I don't see why you couldn't just put Strat saddles on it if there's some of them missing. This tremolo arm isn't the original one, that's why it's black. But it's just one of those push-in ones, which is, I can't remember why I had it. It was from a modern trem anyway. So you shouldn't have any problem getting the arm, shouldn't have any problem getting the saddles. Don't worry about that with this bridge. Do worry about that if you're looking at the power rocker and the hard rocker bridges, because they're an awful lot more complicated. I don't own one of them. I did a video a couple of weeks ago with my pal John's purple RS 445, something like that, which is kind of, it's got the power rocker, the sort of Floyd Rosey one, and it's impossible to get bits for them. This one there really aren't any bits. You've only got the base plate, the saddles. If the base plate, the block's there, put any saddles on it, and a push-in tremolo arm, laughing. But I really can't recommend one of these enough. My pal Mr. Whitesnake has 3 of them, I think. I think he's got the single pickup one, the 3 pickup, and this one. I think the two. He had them on his workbench the other day in a video. And it's like there is a bit of a bug with them. I don't know if I would. Well, I don't know if another one popped up at this price, maybe I would. I don't know, just for greediness. But they are awful good. I mean, it's like it just pisses all over a Strat, really. It's a sports Strat. It's kind of a bit sleeker. Maybe it doesn't have the look, I suppose. I also see the headstock's a bit smaller than what was on the Blazer. Same shape, but smaller. A little bit prettier, I think. Again, I don't want to stop playing this. My original plan was to do these 3 videos. I was going to do one video of comparing which is the best guitar out of the 3. This one, the Blazer, and the 530. It's that one because I look at it, but that's purely a looks thing rather than anything else. But these two, it's not ugly, I don't think. It's kind of, you can almost see how this evolved into the modern S series actually, but it feels quite a bit smaller. It's probably only, like half an inch thinner this way, and maybe a wee bit. This scoops a wee bit deeper, and all these things only 22 fret. The Blazer's only 21, so there's a 22 fret. I suppose you're better off having more frets if you can get them. one of the things I do like about this, well, it's a bit annoying not having it, but see the way the trem arm, there's like a tension screw, but see if you just tighten it up, doesn't just turn it, because it's a push in one, it actually makes it stiff again. You do have to do that, you have to take the lead out to do that, but now it's going to stay where it is. I haven't yet worked out quite, I think you have to take the bridge out to make it proper tight so it doesn't rotate at all, but it just holds where you want it to. It doesn't flop down, which is a great thing. A big thing we see tremolos is confidence. Not necessarily confidence in how you play it, but confidence that it's going to return to pitch. And it totally does. I mean, I played it at Crackers. I don't know if it was actually if I left it in the video. I played Black Knight, Deep Purple song. I didn't really want to play, but I was just going like mad, and then at the end it was still in tune. But it's like just the confidence to be able to do that is amazing. And it's like I can totally see why some people just don't, they pure hate tremolos because they don't have that confidence in a good, well set up one. That's totally fine, but I mean, I've now got the confidence in these things. But I mean, again, I don't want to put this guitar down. It's so good. And it's got the fancy pickups in it. It's a cheapie. It doesn't. One of the things I like so much about this, it doesn't have any of that extra stuff you don't need. Binding, fancy tops. That's what that one has. Fancy fret markings. It doesn't have any of that. But everything on it's just brilliant. Because it's even only got a 1-ply scratch plate. It's like, we'll save money there. We'll not save money on assembling it. It's not like when you compare this to like a Harley Benton. Oh, it doesn't have a roasted maple neck, stainless steel frets, and blah blah blah. Locking tuners. No, it doesn't. No, but I mean, I bet you there's not a Harley Benton in the universe that holds tune like this, no matter how much Floyd Rose you put on it. But I mean, a stunning guitar. Absolutely love this. Again, this is getting a 9 out of 10. Being a 9 out of 10 is as good as a guitar can be. Pretty much. Could always be a bit better, I suppose. It kind of increased a wee bit when I changed this pot, the one so I can actually see when it's in humbucker mode. Ideally, it wouldn't have that dent in the back of the fretboard. I wasn't that keen on the colour, but now I'm kind of getting it, and kind of that I quite like the way that it's kind of got two invisible pickups because they're they've got the plastic covers because that was the fashion in '86. Mr. White's actually, he's like, I'm going to buy an EMG cover for that pickup, and it's like, no. Then it doesn't look like the Alan Holdsworth one. I like this because the Alan Holdsworth one basically looks exactly the same. As I said, apart from it's made of aircraft grade aluminium, and it's got his own signature pickup in it, and it's got an ebony fingerboard. That's pretty much the same. Even tuners, it's like, yeah, why would you? Are there tuners better than Ibanez Smooth Tune? It's like, not really. And it's like, that's a testament to these. You very, very, very rarely see roadsters or anything like that with the tuners changed. Why would you change them? Why would you downgrade it? You don't really get, people like the idea of locking tuners. I don't really see the point in them. I would maybe put them on if I had a guitar that didn't have tuners, or they'd snapped off, or there was some missing. Maybe have a look at that, but I would never upgrade. I mean, I just don't see any point. I can actually change strings on this quicker than I can on one with locking tuners, because you've got to try and turn the wee wheel thing and then snip them, and just normal, but made it a great metal tuners is the way to go. Yep, so that was part 2. Again, 9 out of 10. I will explain the rating system at some point. I love this guitar. So I don't know how. The object of these videos is to find out which is the best one. The Blazer, this, or that. And basically just now it's this one, because this is the one I'm playing. Play one of these guitars, it's the best guitar in the world. When I was playing the Blazer, it's the best guitar in the world. So what will happen when I play the expensive one? It'll be the best guitar in the world, won't it? the consistency between the Ibanezes is fantastic. You know, it's like you often hear about basically this applies to 80s Japanese guitars. It's like always people go, pure, it's just like, you know, with the original Fenders, like, you know, 1 or 2 out of 10 would be pure amazing, 4 would be would be still really good, and then, you know, like 3 would be like sort of not quite that good but still good, and then 1 would be shit. It's like you don't get that with these. They're just this and West Tones and all that. You're basically, if you buy another one, assuming nobody's dropped it or gouged it out, you know, or done something, you know, it's been abused or something like that, it's going to be exactly the same. The consistency in the Japanese guitars is just pure ridiculous. I always feel like the West Tone Thunders, they're all the same. Once you've set them up, it's like, so what's your West Tone Thunder like? And it's like, well, it's exactly the same as your West Tone Thunder. They're all the same. They've got that level of it, and the quality control thing isn't, you know, like pure at the end of the. I always considered quality control to be at the end when someone checks it, make sure it works okay. Quality control's all the way through it. You know, if this neck wasn't perfect, it would never have gone on the guitar. It wouldn't have made it to the end. If something wasn't absolutely laser micrometer perfect on an Ibanez, on a Japanese guitar, it doesn't get assembled. It goes back and gets redone or goes in the bin, and then they put one that is perfect on it. It's not a case of, you know, churning out these and then, you know, maybe 1 in 10 they get it and they go, oh, this is crap. No. It's like the last inspection phase of something like this would be, you know, folk checking it to make sure there weren't any scratches, sort of thing. They're not going to have to check anything else because everything's going to be perfect on it. Rock on. See you in the next video. I'm quite enjoying doing these videos today. Catch you later.